After the Sprout Act of 1764 failed to control the proliferation of spherical vegetables in the British colony of America, the punitive tax was expunged by bureaucrats in Brussels. Slighted by the action, George III's Parliament went on to impose two further impositions on the American degenerates, the Stamp Act and the Tea Act. By 1773, however, the Yanks were totally cheesed off at being unable to have a cup of splosh while addressing a first-day cuppa to a favourite nephew or great aunt. It's December the 16th, 1773, and under the cover of dark, some 400 Bostonians are approaching three ships that have recently moored in Boston Harbour. Many are disguised as Native Americans, policemen, construction workers and cowboys. In fact, they resembled one giant village people tribute band. They only had one thing on their minds, however: anarchy. Jennifer Klanbuckle homeschools her children in the ways of the American revolutionist and joins me tonight in a cosy hostelry near the city's dockyards. Jennifer, this hostile horde were clearly out looking for a blend of tea and trouble. But hadn't they targeted the wrong vessels? Can you fill in the blanks for us?
You're right, Sir Roland. This rabble was out to make a point about Britain's anti-competitive restrictions on tea.
But I thought Americans only drank pumpkin spice lattes. Why the fuck were they worried about tea leaves?
I think it was more about politicizing tea rather than merely imbibing.
Do go on, Miss Klanbuckle.
The crowd split into three so they could surprise each vessel simultaneously. The first raiding party was led by Chuck Hamstring, who was a lay preacher on his night off. His group stormed HMS Gallbladder and were quickly below deck and into the ship's stores.
What did they find?
Acorns.
What?
Oh, the 18th century acorn trade was huge. Massive.
Really? Okay, well, what did the second vessel offer up?
HMS Spatula was a little tougher to penetrate. The raiding party, led by 4-year-old Alice Cockletoes, met with some pretty stiff resistance. But they prevailed and managed to dump over 9 tons of balsamic vinegar into Boston Harbour.
For no political gain whatsoever.
None. And it reduced mussel yields in the Bay Area for decades.
And the third?
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, the French were already assisting America's struggles against the English and had several mercenaries in country at the time. Jean Valvache, a swordsman from Marseille, made short shrift of the crew on board HMS Effeminate and descended below. The crowd stood in amazement when Vache resurfaced in tears holding a wheel of gorgonzola. Of course, the Frenchman wouldn't allow any dumping of the cheese, and those who tried felt the pointy sting of Vache's sword.
So, where were the ships that had the tea?
On the other side of the harbor wall,